In 1951, three fellas joined this Rotary Club: Jim Heim, Franklin Ward, and myself. Over the years, we served on many boards together. We remain good friends, and I would like to tell a story about both Jim and Franklin, but I only have 3 minutes, so I chose Franklin. Franklin was a stickler for the rules, and particularly those in Rotary. He wrote me a rather curt letter one time, suggesting very strongly that I be removed from this club due to my poor attendance. It did not matter to Franklin that we were probably one of his best customers in the purchase of citrus trees. Now, since we did a lot of business with Ward's Nursery, they were on the top of my list when I was raising money for some worthy cause. At least I thought it was a worthy cause. So I always went to Charlie Collins because Charlie was an easier person to do business with than Franklin. And Charlie was their sales manager. He knew how many thousands of trees we bought, and like I said, he was an easier touch. And so this went on for quite a long period of time. Then one day Charlie came to me and he said, "Bob," he said, "Franklin came to me and said that I could no longer give you any money. And from now on, you had to come and see him." So we both said, okay. Well, one day, Earl Wells, who was a former member of this club and also the editor of the News Sun, and at this time, he was an employee, a PR man for Florida Citrus Mutual, called me and said, "Bob," he said, "Fred Jones, who was our local representative in the state legislature, was coming to town, and would I take him to Rotary?" And I said, "Yes, I'd be glad to." And he said, "Also, we need to raise him some money." I said, okay. So I went around and I got him several checks. And then for some reason I had a conflict that day and I couldn't go, so I thought, well, who's going to come that knows Fred? So I thought, well, Franklin. So I go out to Franklin's office and I handed him several checks, and he looked over them, and he said, "Golly, how in the world did you get $300 out of Jack Hutchison?" Well, Jack was really kind of close with the money, as was Franklin. I said, "Well, you know, Franklin, I don't have any trouble getting money out of Jack." And with that, I turned around and walked out the door. About 2 hours later, Charlie hunted me down. And he was just jumping up and down laughing. He was as happy as I've ever seen him. And he said, "You got him, you got him, you got him, and you didn't even have to ask."